Tapping in real quick. UFC fight night, Burns versus Brady, and we stayed in the apex for this one. Who will that smaller cage be a benefit to this Saturday, and who will that smaller cage be a disadvantage to? That is to be determined. I do appreciate y'all for tapping in. This video right here, this the Tuesday Tap In with final talks on everything. You know what I'm talking about? Let's go ahead and dive into this card, man. Ramaska versus Fletcher. As far as I'm concerned, that's still a complete pass. I don't want anything to do with this fight from a betting or a parlaying aspect. You know what I mean? As far as a pick this week, I'm going to side with Fletcher to be the one to get it done in some way, shape, form, or fashion, man. You know what I mean? Whether that's just being the cleaner, crisper, more technical practitioner of the two on the feet in the striking department while mixing in the wrestling and getting it to the ground and just producing the better all-around body of work over the course of 15 minutes to edge it out via split or unanimous decision, or if the finish presents itself inside the distance. You know what I'm talking about? In some way, shape, form, or fashion, I'm going to go ahead and side with Fletcher to be the one to get it done. But again, I want absolutely nothing to do with it from a betting or a parlaying perspective, man. You know what I mean? Ovin St. Preux versus Ryan Spann. You can still give me Ovin St. Preux at a dog tag to get this one done. Again, in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But I am a lot more confident in St. Preux, as I know the body of work of these two a lot more in depth than I do of those two. You know, prior, Ramaska and Fletcher. I know St. Preux, and I know Spann. You know what I'm talking about? And listen, man. Spann got some pop in his shots, but there is nothing impressive about this young man. He's athletic. He's not that talented, man. You know what I'm talking about? He does possess the abilities to disconnect somebody from their consciousness if the proper shot is landed, man. I do not necessarily believe that Ovin St. Preux will leave that opening available for him to do so. Ryan Spann does not possess a reach advantage in this matchup as he normally does. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Ovin St. Preux, in my personal opinion, is the better all-around mixed martial artist. Hands fucking down. You know what I'm talking about? He can win this fight via split decision, majority decision, unanimous decision. He can win this motherfucker 3 rounds to none, 2 rounds to 1, inside the distance via submission, inside the distance via submission from a club and sub type situation, inside the distance via submission if Ryan Spann attempts to get it to the motherfucking ground, inside the distance via KO TKO from clipping and disconnecting Ryan Spann from his consciousness. You understand what I'm saying to you? There is so many ways for Ovin St. Preux to win this motherfucking fight. While in my personal opinion, there's only one way for Ryan Spann to win. And that's via KO TKO inside the distance. He's not winning a decision against Ovin St. Preux. He's not going to produce the better body of work over the course of 15 minutes. In no way, shape, form, or fashion, in my personal opinion, does that ever fucking happen. You know what I'm talking about? And as I said before, when people want to talk about the Dominic Reyes, remember, look at the timelines. Remember, the Dominic Reyes that Ryan Spann clipped and got out of there was the Dominic Reyes that everybody has been clipping and getting the fuck out of there. And just because Dominic Reyes has won one fight does not necessarily mean he is not still the Dominic Reyes that everybody can clip and get the fuck up out of there, man. You know what I mean? Very much Chuck Liddell-esque, man. Boom, 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 boom. Win one. Boom, boom. Like, stop fucking playing because he won one. You know what I'm talking about? That is the Dominic Reyes that Ryan Spann won one on. The Dominic Reyes that Ovin St. Preux lost via decision to is the Dominic Reyes that was getting everybody out of there inside the distance on his way to John Jones. This was like, you know, maybe 2 fights prior to him fighting John Jones when he took Ovin St. Preux to the cards because he couldn't get him the fuck up out of there. You understand what I'm saying to you? And then he went on and everybody said he arguably beat John Jones. That's the Dominic Reyes that Ovin St. Preux lost to. The Dominic Reyes that Ryan Spann beat, miss me with that shit. You know what I'm talking about? So let's not, nobody get to arguing about that. Get all your little facts in motherfucking order, your little ducks in a row, whatever the fuck you want to call it about that situation, man. You know what I mean? And then everything else on the resumes, the wins, the losses, just the all-around body of work produced over the years, Vince St. Preux has done better. And, you know, it's just all more respectable on the Vince St. Preux side of things. My bad, I went in on that one. You know what I mean? But I don't believe he should be the underdog, man. Based off what? Didn't little fucking Anthony Smith look alike just getting Ryan Spann up out it? Like, Ryan Spann is nobody impressive. He's not a guy who possesses a whole lot of talent. He has physical attributes that he's been able to use. He's not going to be able to use them against Vince St. Preux, man. Rong Zhu versus Padilla. For what it's worth, give me Padilla, man. I'm still on the dog to get it done. Not high on these guys. With all due respect, Yizza, Rong Zhu, and these individuals who have these, you know, impressive looking records from over where they accumulated the mat. It's just different opposition over there than what's over here. You look at opposition faced over here, I guess in one of them, I don't know if it was this one or Yizza, it's like when you faced opposition from over here, and like Ignacio, you lost. You know what I'm saying? Like all your wins are from opposition from over there. With all due respect, it's just different opposition in my personal opinion, man. So I'm not really high on the Rong Zhu and the Yizza side with these guys. You know what I mean? And I know Yizza's, I believe, an underdog, and Rong Zhu's a favorite. I'm rocking with the, you know, the dog in this one, and the favorite in the next one, and Gabrielle against Yizza, man. You know what I mean? I'm against these guys. They got some proven grounds to cover, in my personal opinion, and it may very well be, you know, covering some of that on Saturday. That is to be determined. But I'm rocking with the dog in this one, and Chris Padilla, to get Rong Zhu up out of their inside of distance via submission. Unfortunately for Rong Zhu, you know, he tends to get taken up out of there when he's placed in compromisable positions by individuals who, you know, are a lesser opposition than that of Chris Padilla when in those positions, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm talking about? 25-5, I believe it is, and 4 of those 5 is losses via submission inside the distance, and the other one via decision from, you know, not being able to implement his game plan, being put in a couple compromisable positions, and, you know, losing, not being able to produce the better body of work over the course of 15 minutes, which is very much what I see the case being on Saturday with Padilla, man. I think Padilla, even if Padilla is unable to get him out of there inside the distance via submission, then he'll secure his victory via unanimous or split decision by placing him in, you know, multiple compromisable positions over the course of 15 minutes to secure the victory. You know what I'm talking about? But I really do think he sinks, you know, finds his submission, sinks it in, locks it up, and gets old boy out of there and makes him, you know, 25-6 with 5 of those 6 coming via submission inside the distance. I like Padilla in this one, man. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily believe Padilla has a very high ceiling inside the UFC in this division, but this is a very winnable matchup for him, because I do believe he will be able to get this one to the mat relatively easily, and he may only need to get it there once to do what he wants to do, to get it done. With all due respect to Rong Zhu, he's going to be on the wrong side of this one, in my personal opinion. You know what I mean? Gabriel Santos versus Yizza. You know, I know 10-2. 25-4, but you know that 25-4 is against opposition with combined records of 239 wins, 158 losses, and it's over there. You know what I mean? We're over here. Gabriel's 10-2 is against opposition with combined records of 90 wins, 20 losses. Yes, he lost to Onama inside the distance. It is what it is. So with Yizza, in my personal opinion, one thing has nothing to do with the other, though, but a loss via split decision to Leron Murphy, man. That's nothing to frown on a young man about. And again, I believe he'll be able to get this one to the ground relatively easy and implement his game on Yizza, possibly find a finish inside the distance. Either way, secure the victory via unanimous decision by producing a better body of work over the course of 15 minutes. So we are rocking with Fletcher for what it's worth, but it's a complete pass. St. Preux is a dog to get it done. Padilla is a dog to get it done. Gabrielle to get it done. And Andre Petrowski against Dillon. I'm still on Petrowski. I still very much feel the way I feel about this fight. It's a wrestler with an overhand versus a wrestler with an overhand. One wrestler with an overhand is just a lot more dangerous in the jiu-jitsu department, and that's what separates the two of them, man. They both possess pop in their shots. They both could get each other out of there inside the distance via KO, TKO if the proper shot is landed. You understand what I'm saying to you? I just feel like more times than not, you know, Andre Petrowski's going to be the one to land that shot. But it is what it is, man. I think the threat of the submission is going to keep Dylan a bit timid about taking his fight to the ground. Where on the other side, Petrowski's going to have no problem taking this one to the ground. So I don't necessarily believe that he's going to leave Dylan the opportunity to catch him and clip him and disconnecting from his consciousness on the feet in the striking department, as Petrowski's going to have no problem and no worries taking this one to the ground. I believe he's going to get it there. I believe he's going to aggressively search for the submission. And I do believe he's going to find it. Sink it in, lock it up, and get old boy Dylan out of there inside the distance. Andre's the pick, man. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. The price tag's ridiculous, as is the price tag for this fight, which I want nothing to do with. Nothing to do with. Fuck Isaac versus Brendan. I hope Brendan knocks him the fuck out, to be honest with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Isaac is 6-1. Up against opposition with combined records of 29 wins and 10 losses. Brandon's 8-2, up against opposition with combined records of 46 wins and 42 losses. And honestly, Terrence McKinney would knock Isaac clean the fuck out too. Stiffen him up. Leave him in the same position he was, you know, shooting him for the takedown when he stiffened him up, if he was to catch him clean. So you can't really be mad at old boy about that, man. Or on the other side of things, like Isaac took the loss to Christian, who's a guy I'm just not high on, man. You know what I mean? A guy that Dana White and them was sicking on all, you know, sicking him on all these other prospects to see where they was, check their temperature and see where they, you know, what their level was really hitting for, man. And more times than not, you know, Christian was coming out on the upside. I mean, yeah, Christian was coming out on the upside till they put him up against my boy, you know what I'm saying? But I told him when he went against Julie, man, like, listen, the first, whether motherfuckers liked it or not, you know what I mean? He lost to Jonathan Pierce. Then he, you know, goes on his little thing against these other prospects. Then he loses the motherfucking, you know what I mean, my baby Julian Rosa. Like, you can't overly invest into these prospects. And Isaac Delgarian at minus 2,000 on the money line is very much motherfuckers overly investing into a prospect who just lost to the prospect killer, who just lost when taking a, you know, another step up in opposition, man. There's nothing justifiable about this money line, in my personal opinion. It makes me just want the dog to knock him the fuck out. Now I'm talking about just catch him with a fucking knee while he's coming in for a takedown, to just lift his fucking chin up and then bang, flatline him with a fucking elbow right to the temple and make him just kiss the fucking canvas, you bastard. What about you being 6-1? Up against opposition with combined records of 29 wins and 10 losses, coming off a loss to Christian Rodriguez, who's coming off a loss. Like there's nothing, there's no high levels of opposition. No, there's no battle tested against significant levels of opposition for any of these fucking price tags to be justified, in my personal opinion, man. It's just me. If you want to bet on them at minus 2,000 and parlay them up, do what you do. Minus 2,000 does nothing to your parlay until you're talking about a, you know, 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th leg anyway. And I know I went completely off track, but I mean, come on, miss me with this guy being minus 2,000 who just lost to a guy who is not a high level of opposition, man. You know what I'm talking about? Not even a medium high level opposition. Not even medium, in my personal opinion. Because he got melted by Julian Rosa. You know what I'm talking about? Who's not a high level of opposition. In this division, we're talking about medium high on the stovetop. Very fucking dangerous. Very, very fucking dangerous. But a medium high level of opposition is what Julian Rosa is. And he melted that young man. You know what I'm talking about? And that young man, regardless of how anybody feels about the matchup, took that O from this young man. But now this young man is still minus 2,000 against this young man who's coming off a loss to Terrence McKinney, who would have very well handed this young man a loss as well if he caught him cleanly. What the fuck? I hate this fight, man. Do what y'all want with it, man. Jacqueline versus Vanessa. I'm still all over Vanessa. Vanessa is still by far, in my personal opinion, the better all-around mixed martial artist in this matchup, man. You know what I'm saying? She's more evolved. She's more well-rounded. Her tools and her shed are sharpened and ready to rock. You know what I'm talking about? We're on the other side. Jacqueline still got some coming into herself to do. You know what I mean? She still got some humbling. She's still got some sharpening, rounding off. You know what I mean? She still got things to do, in my personal opinion. She's 8-1 against opposition with combined records of 36 wins and 17 losses, man. And she does possess a significant reach advantage in this matchup, but as does just about everybody else that Vanessa has ever shared any cage with. So that shit doesn't bother me. It doesn't move me. You can miss me with that shit. She's 11-5. Vanessa up against opposition with combined records of 105 wins and 41 losses, man. You know, she has faced a higher level of opposition. Her road to the UFC was a bit harder than Jacqueline's road to the UFC since being in the UFC. You understand what I'm saying to you? The same can be said. And with all of that being said, I just feel like due to the humbling that Vanessa went through earlier in her career, it forced her to evolve earlier, round her game out, sharpen her tools up, where Jacqueline just suffered her first loss, her first, if you want to call it a humbling, inside the UFC, and she's still, you know, going through some things as far as levels of opposition and reality are concerned, and stepping up her motherfucking game. Vanessa's already done that. Vanessa is already a level, if not levels, above her, in my personal opinion, in every fucking department, man. In every department. Again, this is just my personal opinion. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Jacqueline's 8-1 against opposition with combined records of 36 wins and 17 losses. Vanessa's 11-5 up against opposition with combined records of 105 wins and 41 losses. And all you have to do is look at the resume. In my personal opinion, Vanessa's road to the UFC was a bit harder than Jacqueline's road to the UFC. Her road to 11-5 has been a bit harder than Jacqueline's road to 8-1, and her route, you know, her matchups inside the UFC, the same can be said. I just also feel, with all of that being said, that Vanessa is the better all-around mixed martial artist, man. And if you're going to keep giving me her against these other, you know, untested, unproven, low, maybe medium low, women's MMA females, because I rank Vanessa at medium high. So if you're going to keep giving me her at a dog tag against what I believe to be medium low, haven't been tested for me to believe you to be medium yet. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, I'm going to take her at that dog tag every time, man. And more times than not, I'm going to cash with her. You understand what I'm saying to you? But I like her. For all the reasons I said I like her, and if you like Jacqueline for all your own reasons, by all means, best of luck to you. It is women's MMA. Don't have it locked up in any of your main plays, man. Know what I mean? Not the first fight of the night. With that being Ramaska and Fletcher, everybody should be all right with that. Not the last fight of the night. With that being Burns and Brady, everybody should be all right with that. Not women's MMA. With that being Andrade versus Silva, Jacqueline versus motherfucking Vanessa, man. You know, everybody should be all right with that. We don't have any heavyweight MMA on here. It's nobody making their UFC debut on here except for the ones that are in the first fight of the night. You know what I'm talking about? And any fights that you have question marks on, you stay the fuck away from them. And I don't believe, maybe we have you up with Costa. We've crept over the -500 line. You know what I mean? But any boxes that need to be checked, check them bitches and don't put them in your main bets, man. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm with Vanessa, man. As I am still with Andre Lima to get it done over Felipe Dos Santos, man. I like both these guys, man. I like both of them. Very solid, very well-rounded, you know what I'm talking about. Keep themselves surrounded by good company, you know what I mean? Not a whole lot bad to say about either one of them. While on paper, it may seem that Philippe would be the one to put out a bit more volume in this matchup. That also goes with the neck and neck with what I said about him being a bit more reckless in his pursuit, where Andre's a bit more of a technical practitioner in the striking department. He's gonna pick his shots, his counters. He's gonna motherfucker set up his power shots with his combinations. He's gonna work the whole body. You understand what I'm saying to you? And if need be necessary, the takedown defense is legitimate, and the takedown game is legitimate as well. I believe him to be just a bit better, absolutely everywhere, than Felipe Dos Santos. A bit cleaner, a bit crisper, a bit more technical. Even if they're neck and neck, you know what I'm saying, with speed and power and abilities and capabilities, and you know what I mean. I just believe Andre to one. I believe Andre to be the one that is just a bit more technical, a bit more cleaner, and a bit more crisper in his approach, offensively and defensively, absolutely everywhere. And why he is at a 2.5-inch reach disadvantage or something like that, he's not a very long-limbed individual, and that case can be made against him in quite a few of his matchups prior and moving forward, I'm sure. You understand what I'm saying to you? Again, it's nothing to do with the O next to his name and old boy having the one right there, the one coming from Manel Cop. Nobody's frowning on him about that, but this is not Manel Cop. This is a completely different fight. It will be approached completely differently. I believe it's going to be highly technical and highly competitive, man, and it should be a pick 'em. And I'm picking Andre Lima still. Nothing's changed, man. You know what I'm talking about? Steve Garcia against the boy Nelson. I'm still on Garcia. I said, yeah, I'm still on Garcia to get this one done in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I need something to drink. And unfortunately, probably most likely, inside the distance via KO, TKO, from clipping Kyle and disconnecting him from his consciousness, man. Both of these individuals are solid. Both of these individuals are well-rounded. You know what I'm talking about? I believe Steve to be the more dangerous of the two, absolutely everywhere. And the takedown defense to be legitimate enough to keep this one up. I don't believe Kyle possesses the abilities to get Steve to the ground. And if he does, to hold him down, not happening. In my personal opinion, Garcia is going to get up. He might threaten a submission, transition, and then get up and get back to motherfucking, you know, doing what he want to do on the feet, man. He's going to hurt Kyle. If he doesn't knock Kyle the fuck out and get him out of there, if he doesn't club him and sub him and get him the fuck out of there and it goes the full 15 minutes, the whole distance, it's Steve Garcia by unanimous decision, and Kyle Nelson's going to be pieced the fuck up in my personal opinion, man. You know what I'm talking about? He's not going to like how it's going on the feet. Steve very much uses his reach to his advantage, which he does possess in this matchup, as well as the power, as well as the speed, the ability to put those combinations together and make a motherfucker pay when they slip up and make a mistake. You understand what I'm saying to you? Steve's gonna get him up out of there. And while individuals want to, you know, talk about the short notice and all this, that, and the third, like, come on, man. Come on, man. September 7th, old boy knew about this fight prior to August 7th, you know what I mean? He still had 4 fights. I mean, come on, man. He still had some time. He still had enough time, in my personal opinion, to go out here and do what needs to be done to get this one done inside the distance, or at the very least via unanimous decision. But I honestly don't see Kyle surviving 15 minutes, man. Steve gonna put it on him, man. Steve gonna put it on. He gonna put that work on him, man. You know what I'm talking about? Peak, you know. Peak and motherfucking you know, man. Peak and motherfucking you know, man. I get to thinking about switching my pick and my dogs get to barking and shit. I ain't gonna switch my pick. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep it for what it is, man. Cause this is a fucking bomb waiting to explode. Like, this shit is gonna blow the fuck up, man. Somebody going to sleep. I think somebody going to sleep. If somebody don't go to sleep and you know don't, you know what I'm saying, choke old boy the fuck out or something, take a limb home with him, it's gonna be fight of the night. Cause this shit gonna be reckless. At times it's just gonna be sloppy. You know what I'm talking about? They gonna be fucking swinging, banging. I don't see how somebody doesn't go down in this joint. With the way motherfucking Peak approaches a fight, just the fight game, period. Peak's 9-2 is up against opposition with combined records of 99 wins and 48 losses, where Yanal's 7-1 is up against opposition with combined records of 44 wins and 9 losses. Both of these individuals possess the ability to disconnect the other one from their consciousness at any given time in this matchup. First, second, third, you know, last minute, last seconds, don't fucking matter. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's the way they swing. That's the kind of motherfucking, you know, shit they bring, man. You know what I mean? Yanal does possess the capabilities to get this one to the ground, though, and aggressively search for the submission. Possibly put Peak in compromisable positions, frustrate him. And if he doesn't win it inside the distance, scrape out a decision. In this dog fight, scrap, I'm still with you now. Fucking Yanal, man. And it's still Costa, you know what I mean, to get it done via KO, TKO, or submission. Either one. I don't see it going the distance. If it goes the distance, then that means Alessandro Costa did not handle his motherfucking business, and I do not expect that to be the case. You know what I'm talking about? He's an individual, with all due respect to Schnell, I expect Costa to, if anybody, justify his price tag on this card. Andrade versus Silva, man. This is still so shady, so shiesty, so shaky, so scary. You know what I'm talking about? Like, Natalia Silva is the better all-around mixed martial artist. Period. You know what I'm talking about? Period. In my personal opinion. But just about everybody, I said it before, not everybody, but just about everybody Jessica Andrade has ever shared the octagon with has been a better all-around mixed martial artist than her, in my personal opinion. And they were also, for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, producing a better body of work inside the octagon until they weren't. You know what I'm talking about? She's fucking dangerous, man. She's fucking dangerous, man. She is fucking dangerous, especially if she's down 2 rounds to nothing. Come on, man. 2 rounds to none. Going into the 3rd round, she is absolutely gonna try to motherfucking just walk down and destroy Natalia Silva. And that is when I would be, you know, that's the asshole pucker moment of the evening. If this thing goes into the 3rd round, and, you know, if it does, Natalia most likely is up 2 rounds to nothing. That's it right there. That's the moment. Because Andrade is coming. And that's also the moment that if Natalia Silva is able, you hear the dog scratching on the door when I talk about Andrade coming, that is also the moment that Natalia, the only moment in my personal opinion, that Natalia Silva would have to get Jessica Andrade out of there inside the distance via KO, TKO, or submission with a club and tub type situation, would be in that 3rd round with Jessica Andrade just coming at her. You know what I mean? Just coming at her, and then when they get in them last 90 seconds and she's still there, oh my God, and Natalia has managed to stay safe and stay away from her and piece her up just a bit more. And that corner starts screaming, got 90 seconds, man. It's 90 seconds, you got 1 minute left. Andrade is just gonna fucking come, and she's gonna throw everything she got. And if you could sidestep, bang, and catch her, you could possibly make her kiss the canvas, or you know, get off balance enough that you can follow up with a couple more. And if not, get her out of there via KO, jump on her for a submission. But that's the only way you get her out of there inside the distance. I don't think it's going to happen in the first 5 minutes or in the first 10 minutes unless she just pieces her so cleanly and hurts her body. Like, because Andrade is a fucking bull. She's a cinder block for a body, for a head, for hands. You understand what I'm saying to you? And Natalia Silva does not necessarily possess the most pop in each individual shot. You know what I'm talking about? Scary fight, man. Natalia Silva via decision. Jessica Andrade inside the distance. You know what I'm talking about? Burns versus Brady. Main event, man. Shit could get spicy. You know what I'm talking about? Who is going to initiate the wrestling first? I honestly do not believe Brady wants to stand and try to bang, like just strike with Gilbert Burns for 25 motherfucking minutes. You know what I'm talking about? But is shooting in on Gilbert Burns out of, you know, sheer just wanting to get it off the feet and out of the striking department because you don't like how it's going. Is that the right thing to do when he's expecting you to shoot? Because he knows you don't like how it's going on the feet. Messy, man. Messy. Can Burns get Brady down? Will Brady fall? Will he crumble just at the sheer, just the fact that knowing it's Gilbert Burns coming for the takedown? Now he's locked up with Gilbert Burns. You know what I mean? Because you can be that guy and then get in there with a guy that you watched your whole life. You know what I'm talking about? And sometimes you just get tangled in there and something different happens and you end up on your back. Or is he going to, you know, overcome that hurdle and shine in that department? Pick Gilbert Burns up, Matt Hughes him across the motherfucking ring. Boom! Dump him on his shit. Bang, 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 transition. Bang, 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 transition. And sink in a submission and get Gilbert out of there inside the distance. What's going to happen, man? Huh? Fuck! I do believe Gilbert Burns very much has peaked. And his best days are behind him. Not as a human being. As a human being, he may very well be living his best days. But as a combat sports performer, I do believe his best days are behind him. You know what I'm talking about? Where Sean Brady's are still in front of him. But, you know, how high is Sean Brady's ceiling? You know what I'm talking about? Has he already reached it? Is Gilbert Burns a piece of it? You know what I'm talking about? How high is his ceiling? Even though his best days are still in front of him and we haven't seen his best days yet, what do his best days look like? Do his best days get him a victory over Gilbert Burns at the end of his? You know what I'm talking about? Fuck Ramaska versus Fletcher, but Fletcher, for what it's worth, we all over St. Preux. We all over the boy Taco, too. Chris Padilla. I'm on Gabriel Santos and Andre Petrowski. Fuck Isaac and Brendan. I hope Brendan knocks him the fuck out, man. You know what I mean? Or Isaac goes in there, picks him up. Matt Hughes is him across the motherfucking octagon, dumps him on his motherfucking shit, and just gets him out of there and justifies the price tag. One way or the other, something spectacular needs to happen in that fucking matchup. I'm still all over Vanessa, Andre Lima, Steve Garcia. You can give me Yanal in that dog scrap with Pete. I'm still all over Costa. I'm on Silva by decision or Andrade inside the distance. And I'm on the same. I'm on Brady by decision or Burns inside the distance. Now I'm talking about. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. That's that with that, man. It's a wrap. Tuesday Tap In for all of that. I just did a little Dana White Contender Series joint for what it's worth for you degenerates that's gonna bet on that shit. Y'all wild for that. But yep, appreciate y'all.